Hi there and welcome to the channel. I'm Slate and today I have a guide for progression, and it is going to be stage 10 for all 3 gear raids in Watch of Realms. And I kind of thought with this Epics Only challenge it gives me a really nice opportunity to do the progression series with you guys again, but at an account of that level. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to get straight into how to beat stage 10 for all 3 gear raids. And the reason this is really important is Stage 10 unlocks mythic gear for gear raid 2 and 3, but it's not until 13 that you get mythic gear for stage 1. So by getting the 10s in gear raid 2 and 3, it then means that you can progress with gear raid 1 13. And that's the whole thing, right? You move up through the different gear raids to get gear to then help with the next gear raid. So this is going to be the team that we're going to use to beat stage 10. Just going to check that power of dominance is actually turned off. Now your best DPS set, now this is something I picked up from the Volca quests. You will get a crit rate and double attack bonus with some good rolls. This is going to be your primary DPS set. You are going to put that on your AoE mage. Now basically for this fight it is going to be Voltis. If you did pick up Iona, she's definitely the better choice.
Next time, baby.
But to make this as free-to-play friendly as possible, she's not going to be in it. And obviously if you have any kind of legendary AoE mage at this point, that is going to be a better option. But anyway, that's where you're going to focus, is some kind of AoE mage. Voltis will get you through stage 10, no problem. If you've picked up any other kind of AoE damage like Drogo, that's fantastic. Your Pokemon starter Marksman is also going to help you take down the boss at the end. Mari is going to be in for some crowd control and freezes. You'll need at least 1 healer. Now if you have picked up a Nero, he's going to boost your Voltis. And finally, an Autumn is another damage booster. She, on her ultimate, boosts crit rate and crit damage. So if you do manage to pick her up, she's fantastic. So yeah, that is going to be it. We're going to get into the fight now. So, starting off, we are going to place our AoE mage. We are going to place our AoE mage in that center tile with Mari on the right-hand side. Mari is in for her slows and everything else. Autumn will go into that top corner so that she can boost people's damage. And we're going to ult with Voltis as soon as possible and then place down our healer behind everybody. Now you could put your healer to the left hand side if you need both these slots for DPS. And then you basically are going to put your AoE on the other DPS. Now, what you'll notice here is we've got this next round of people coming. There's still minions at the wall, so this is when you are going to ult with Mari to save yourself a little bit of time so that you can get everybody down, ult with Autumn, ult with Voltis, and take them all out. And again, ult with everything you've got whenever you've got it, and good old Drogo coming in for some extra damage. Yeah, that's about it. Now, if you are finding that things are getting a bit dicey, you can then put a couple ground units here to sort of go add a little bit more damage. You know, Wrath is really good, and when you pick him up, or there's options basically. Valkyra, if you manage to get her. So anyway, we're going to ult again with Autumn and Idril. And we're going to freeze whenever we get a little bit concerned and stuff like that. Now Idril will hopefully be able to take down the boss. This is why it's good to bring in your marksman, because they do really nice damage, especially as they're going to be someone that you've started off with. But yeah, this is when it sort of becomes a bit of a DPS race, and this is why you really need your healer to try and block things out. So you will notice that things are dying, and it may be a little bit dicey the first time you try and beat stage 10 because it will be whether or not you have enough damage. But as you can see, we're doing absolutely fine here, and that is the boss down. So yeah, that is gear raid 1. And gear raid 1 is basically down to, do you have enough AoE DPS? Yes or no. That's it. So anyway, moving on to gear raid 2. Now for this team, this is going to be slightly different. Instead, what we're going to do this time is we're going to use our marksman or our Pokemon as our main damage dealer. You could use Voltus, you could use, again, Iona if you've got her, she's great, but she's not coming to the fight. Anything, you just need one very good DPS unit for this stage of the fight. And then what you need to do is have like bodies.
Him, her, bodies.
Effectively. So, Arlo, who's an uncommon, as well as Halder, are fantastic because they are both 9 cost. If you manage to pick yourself up an Aatrox, he's great as well because he's like 9 cost. Decimus is absolutely top tier for Gear Raid all the way up to Gear Raid 2 all the way up to stage 21. So if you get a copy of him, keep him. You do want to get him at least 1 star promoted so that he has this passive where he stays alive for 6 seconds after he dies. And then, yeah, you will need a primary tank, and like I said, for that I'm using Livian, and a secondary tank. So we should definitely just put some gear on our secondary tank. What about taking... Let's take Marine's gear, just in case. Yeah, cool. Ideally with HP. That would be more ideal, but let's keep it... Oh, Titus had the gear. That's what it was. 1 second, guys. There we go. And where's Titus again? There we go. Cool. Anyway, and then you need 1 very good healer, or you can also bring in 2 healers. Now you might find that you need 1 healer, 2 DPS, or 2 DPS, 1 healer. That is going to be up to your account. So let's get started. Power dominance is on. Turn it off. Goodness me. Let's make sure it's turned off for all these fights. That would be very, very helpful. Stage 10. Power dominance turned off. Fight. Okay. So power dominance off. This is going to be the team, and this is all about timings and placements. So let's get into the fight. First things first, the roly-polies that come out basically need to run into something twice in order to die. And this is why we want to bring these low-cost units. So we're going to start with a low-cost unit there, and then we are going to wait for him to hit. As soon as he hits, you need to pick up because you need to make sure you have the cost. As soon as he goes all golden again, put down your main tank and put down the other 9er at the top. Pick him back up. He's going to turn gold again and go smack. Then we want to put down our DPS followed by our healer, because these golems are going to attack the last placed unit. Whereas later on they attack the first place unit, so it's a bit weird, but anyway. Yeah, and this thing. Now, the Earth Shake will determine whether or not you can beat the Gear Raid 2 stage. So if you have enough healing and survivability to survive the Earth Shakes, you should be able to survive and beat that stage of Gear Raids. So here we're going to again place those 2 9 units, and our second tank is going to go behind on the right hand side. And the reason I say you need 1 strong tank and a secondary tank is they're going to get that hit, but here for the top we don't have enough cost to do both, so we're going to just use the right hand lane for protection and rely on Livian to take out both roly-polies as well as the DPS. The other thing you can do is to use Earthshake, but we're going again, and this is why Decimus is so good, because he comes up. And the reason we didn't use Iron the last time was because there wouldn't be enough time to come round, and again this second one we don't have the units, so we're going to use our final unit, which is Dagna, to take out that right hand side and save our secondary tank. Now Earthshake's coming up again, and so we're going to ult with Vortex for the extra healing to helpfully get through. Everything's done on the right hand side, so we can pick that up now. And now all we have to do is do the boss, and this is where I like Decimus again. You put him down, he will take a huge amount of damage from the bossing rage, which saves your tank in case you need that extra survivability, like coming down. But yeah, rely on your main DPS unit to take them out, and that is how you will get access to your first mythic gear. Definitely would say Gear Raid 2 Stage 10 is the easiest for you to try and beat. Finally, we're going to move on to Gear Raid Stage 3, turn off Power of Dominance again. And this time, basically what you need to have is 4 things that are going to hit air. So ideally 3 or 4 marksmen and different things like that. So again, we're going to come in with Idril. Liam is an uncommon that places poison, so he's actually quite handy for some of the sides. AoE Mage, if you need them, use them. Mari for the slows and protection. And then, you know, if you've picked up any other marksman, that's great. But, you know, Maureen, Drogo will help. And you know, if you've got a Theowin, that's great. So this is how we're going to place things. So your 4th best damage is going to go first on that side, and you do need 2 healers for this to sort of be safe. Your 3rd best is going to go on this side, and then your 1st best is going to go next to your 4th. So do you see what I mean? Like, we're trying to like even out the damage, and then yeah, your 2nd best will go. So you've basically got 4, 1, 2, 3 to sort of cover the sides. I just realised that Maureen is not geared, which is awkward, and is not going to work. So I'm going to use Esme because I forgot to gear her. And let's save time. So yeah. Worst goes on the right. 3rd goes on the left. Best goes on the mid right. And 2nd goes on there. Next, what you want to do is to place the healers. And what we're going to do is, it doesn't really matter, just put 1 healer next to the platform facing left, and then we'll do 1 more on the platform facing right. No, other way around, lefts and rights. Goodness me. There we go. Yeah, and don't forget to use your ultimates. Now on the left hand side here, you can see we're getting a little bit dicey, so that is when you want to bring in Mari with the slows and just stack up whatever side you're lacking with DPS with whatever other options you have to hit air. So for example, this is when we're going to bring in Drogo, and just hope that, you know, he'll be able to help basically. So yeah, use those ultimates. And this is why, again, Idril is so good for when she starts, because on her ultimate she'll hit anywhere on the board. So if you save it for when you're in trouble, you will be able to clear the board with her if suddenly someone sort of sneaks through on one of your sides because you haven't quite got the support or the damage. So yeah, this might take a few tries depending on how strong or weak your damage is, but yeah, you are down to the last 4, and this is where you could use Idril, and she will clear the board beautifully, and that is going to be stage 10. So yeah, you should absolutely be able to do it with just 50s and 40s, and obviously if you've got any legendary marksmen, they're going to be much better for you, but they're the placements, they're the timings, and as you can see, this is when you start to get mythic gear, and mythic gear becomes so important for progress because those stats just are so much better. I wouldn't recommend you take mythic gear past level 12. It's not worth the resources, particularly unless you get a very good piece, but I'll go over that in a gear guide at some point anyway. But this at least gets you access to it, which will then help you push different content. And yeah, that's going to be how you get your first mythic gear. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do let me know in the comments below how you got on using these guides and these strategies, and if you use them, of course, because it's, you know, very early game. And if there's any other content, like I said, I will do it for, you know, the stage 13, stage etc. Through the gears to hopefully help you guys out. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. So until then, take care and bye for now.